Hey guys, today we want to talk about where some expats get some of their ideas. I got an email the other day and it was talking about how everything's a financial transaction with Filipinos, and nothing could be further from the truth. I know people here, they're looking to make money, just like us in the United States. And us in the United States, let's face it, a lot of things are a financial transaction too, because we're trying to make money. We're trying to get ahead in the world, just like the Filipinos. But the Filipinos are much further behind the 8 ball than the average American or average Westerner. So they have to work that much harder to try to get some money. And what this guy was trying to tell me is this, and he's way wrong on this, but he was trying to tell me that all the women here, the only reason they want to get married is for money, and that's it. There's no love involved. There's nothing involved. They're willing to give up the sex aspect of it, because of the money, to bring them up and to be able to support their families. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, okay, because it does. But is it so prevalent that everyone is like that? Absolutely not. And he was also pointing out that even the men are like that. The men are all about the transaction, how much money they can get. They only want to befriend Americans because of money. I find that false too, because my friends, although I help them, I help try to get them ahead. I try to help them with their businesses. I try to help push them and give them what they need to get ahead. I try to steer them in the right direction. I try to give them customers, things like that. I think that's a fair thing to do but it's not a financial transaction for friendship. If I didn't give them that, they would still be my friends. I can assure you that, 100%. The other day I was out, and this is kind of case in point, okay, of how Filipinos work. They're not all about the money. If they can get a tip or something, hey, that's great, that's fine, that's dandy. That's great for them because it gives them that little bit of extra money that might just push them into next week for their food bills, their diaper bills, whatever they need to pay, their electric bills, their water bills, what have you. But here's the thing. The other day, we pulled over to this ATM, and the driver pulled in, and it was this kid jumped out of nowhere, started waving him back into the parking spot, helping him out, trying to get him situated and get him, in a nice spot and everything. And he helped him get into his parking spot. He didn't ask him for anything yet. He didn't ask me either. He saw me over at the ATM machine, okay? And I walked back. I knew he was going to ask me for money, okay? I knew he was going to ask me for money. And I only had 1,000 peso notes. I didn't have any change in my pocket. I had nothing. And he asked if I could help him out a little bit, and I says, buddy, I wish I could, if I had it, I'd give it to you, but I just don't have it. He says, no, sir, that's okay. It's all right. He says, maybe some other time or whatever. He says, but it's okay. Don't worry about it, And I hopped in the car, and you know what he did? He guided us out. He wasn't getting any money. He knew he wasn't going to get any money, but yet he guided us out. I was like, wow, what a nice kid. I didn't have the money to give him, but he understood that, and he still helped guide us back out into the street, held up traffic so we could get on our way and move along. That's the typical Filipino. That's the real Filipino over here. A lot of people think it's all about the transaction. If you meet a girl and the girl's hitting you up for cell phones and money and cash all the time, obviously you're with the wrong girl. Most girls over here are decent girls. Most of the girls that I see guys marry over here or have as girlfriends are decent girlfriends. They're not hitting them up for money all the time. Most of them have been married. Some of them have been married over 10 years, some of these guys, and they're decent girls. They're regular, normal girls, okay? And they make awesome wives. My girlfriend, she doesn't hit me up for money all the time. It's an untruth. But when you get married, something that's expected a little bit. You do owe your wife a good existence, because that's part of what marriage is about. It's part of what that is. It's not to turn that into a transactional thing is basically saying that your wife or your girlfriend is a prostitute. And that's pretty low. But I know that there's expats out there that think like that. They really do think like that. They think like every woman in the Philippines is a prostitute. or in Thailand or whatever. And that's the lowest. That's low even thinking like that. You know, women in the United States and women in the UK and women in Australia, yeah, they're different than Filipinos, okay? A lot of us have come over here because of the feminism, the other things that are going on back in the States, and the way that the United States is falling apart. And some guys complain about the women there. And I'm not saying whether they're right or they're wrong, okay? But I'm saying that they come over here because they're looking for a woman that's more loving and stuff like that. But some of these guys, man, they come over here and they treat the women over here like they're prostitutes. Stop asking me for money, you know, like I and it's just a low amount of them. It's probably like about 5 or 10% that come over here have this idea that the women over here are very lowly women. Well, you know, if you treat them like that, they become like that, you know, and some of the women over here just won't tolerate it and put up with it. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't either if I was a woman over here. The funniest part about living over here is this. You run into expats over here sometimes, and you never can tell what they're going to come up with next. It's that 5 or 10% that come up with these crazy ideas and stuff. I mean, I had a guy the other day sending me some test results of his girlfriend. And I'm like, are you serious, dude? Don't even send me crap like that. You know, like, I mean, you can get in trouble for stuff like that. There's other people out there that are writing to me, telling me all kinds of crazy stuff. Some stuff I wouldn't even talk about on here because it's so insane. But, you know, sometimes I just ignore some of the emails that I get. As far as helping people, yeah, I'll help you. But, you know, they want me to comment or they want to ask me some question that is so personal. And, you know, we're not Dear Abby here. You know, we try to help expats get into the country. I'll answer some questions, sometimes personal questions, because I think it's from the heart, and I know what the guy's going through and stuff. Or they'll ask me about what I think they should do or whatever. I'll be glad to answer stuff like that. But when they get so personal, sometimes they get too personal. And they're asking questions about me, or they're telling me something about them that I think is kind of too far, going too far. You know, but these expats that are talking to me about this stuff, about everything's a transaction in the Philippines with people over here, think of it back in the US too. It works the same way in the US. You know, everything over here is not a transaction all the time. People are looking for money to get that step ahead, just like we do in the US. It's not all about the money. It's also about helping people over here too. Obviously that kid showed me he wanted to help me, even though he wasn't getting any money. You know, even though he helped us back out, even though he wasn't getting any money. And I've seen that happen many times here. You know, they're looking for a tip. Sure they are. They want to get ahead just like you and I. Remember when we were working, when we weren't retired? We were trying to get ahead. We were fighting to make money, doing anything that we could do to make money. It's the same way here with the Filipinos. So don't put them in a different box because of the fact that they're asking for money and you're retired now. They're not in a different box. They're just like us. They're us. Okay? It's just that they're behind the 8 ball a little bit further and they need that extra cash. As far as the women, what some expats say about women, that all women just are about the money, please save it for somebody else. You know, I know that there's a lot of girls out there that are scammers on some of these websites and some of these dating sites and stuff like that. That's true. But the majority of women are not like that. And some of these guys that are going on these dating sites get these ideas that all the women are like that over here. And nothing could be further from the truth over here than that. You know, most of the guys that I see dating over here, if it's a problem with the girl, it's usually with the family or something like that. The girl wants to be around the family, or they want the guy to live with the family too. And that's why the relationship doesn't work. It has nothing to do with the money usually. It usually has to do with the setup, the amount of kids that the girl has, or the girl's not being totally truthful. It usually doesn't have to do with the money that the guys break off with these girls. It has to do with other stuff, other extenuating factors. And the guys over here, they're looking for that once in a lifetime girl that comes around that they want to get married to. And this is the place to find it. But you got to look. And it's not always the first or second girl you find. It might be the 10th, might be the 15th, might be the 20th. but it could be the first too, if you're lucky. I was lucky. Some people don't get so lucky sometimes. They go through bad divorces over here, or bad annulments, I should say. Or they go through some serious issues with the girl. The girl pulls a whole bunch of stunts and rakes him over the coals over here and does some really nasty stuff to him. That stuff happens over here, but it also happens in the U.S. It's happened to me before back in the U.S. It can happen to you too. Just be careful, guys. But don't stereotype. Don't judge. Don't paint somebody something that they're into, something that they're not. Okay, be fair when you judge people over here, and don't judge. Just let them come out of there. Let the people bloom on their own. So that relationship, that friendship, and you'll get to know people better. All the people that I've met over here, most of the people that I met 4 years ago are still with me today. They're still my best friends. They're still my friends. I love them like my own family. Don't ever judge these people or stereotype these people, because the majority of people over here are good, decent people. When you see somebody that's not that great, walk on, move on. But don't judge them on that one person. God bless, guys. Take care.